breaking news. Another Igbo group demands Nnamdi Kanu's release. 100 trillion Naira to forget about Biafra. Here the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 10th of April 2025, and I have another important information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, it don't happen again. And I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people. Another Igbo Efulefus have demanded 100 trillion Naira and the attachment of the release of Nnamdi Kanu in order for them to forget Biafra. I know the reason why I said attachment or attached the release of Nnamdi Kanu, because it is never the problem of these idiotic individuals or anybody that called him or herself Igbo leader. Anybody you see that claims to be an Igbo leader or any group from Ali Igbo talking about Igbo of a thing, I want to tell you that the release of Nnamdi Kanu is never on their agenda. I'm telling you the honest truth. Believe you me, they do not care about the release or the suffering. In fact, none of them appreciate the suffering of Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS dungeon for the past 4 to 5 years, just for the betterment of that same Igbo. For the future, a better future for the children of Igbo. For us to be free from this chain in our hands and our legs. They don't care. So, why am I bringing this news to your notice? I want to bring this news to your notice for you to see another stupidity of another Igbo idiotic group known as Alibo Development Forum. Just as Ohaneze criminals demanded their own trillion Naira a couple of months ago, when the criminal Babangida, the murderer Badamosi Babangida, made confession that very coup that caused the massacre of Igbo, that led the declaration, or before the declaration, the Aburi Accord agreement and the subsequent declaration of Biafra after Gowon, idiotically abandoned the agreement that was reached in Aburi by all African leaders in 1966. Then the declaration of Biafra independence became inevitable. So, I want you all to understand this and know the uselessness of those who claim to be leaders of Igbo nation. We are going to read the news in details right now, but before then, I want you to look at the number on your screen, which is written on the headline. Inquiry number for Finland protest for the release of Mazi Simon Ekpa. The number is there, +358 4024 36561. This number is for those who will be attending the protests in Finland on the 9th of May 2025 for the release of Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Biafran Prime Minister. Wherever you are all over the world, if you want to join the group for this very protest, kindly WhatsApp this very number. If you want to make any inquiry for those who will be booking hotel reservation or whatsoever you want to know concerning this very all-important protest for the release of our Prime Minister, kindly contact this very number on your screen as we continue with this very latest development here in Biafra land and of course in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. And I'll be reading from Vanguard News Nigeria, one of the Zoo media platforms. Following former President Ibrahim Babangida's clarification in his book that the January 1966 coup was an Igbo-led conspiracy, the Igbo Development Forum, ADF, has called for reparations from the Nigerian government for the historical marginalization and humiliation that the Igbo people have suffered as a result of the false belief that the coup was an Igbo affair. Reparations. They want reparations. In a statement issued by the ADF's national president, Prof. Ukachukwu Awuzie, the group demanded that the federal government allocate 100 trillion naira to the Southeast Development Commission, SEDC, over the next 5 years. The funds, ADF stated, will be used for the restoration of properties abandoned during the civil war in Port Harcourt, Lagos, and other affected areas, as well as for infrastructural development in the Southeast. Now, let me even analyze here before moving forward. They said that this money should be paid or allocated to the Southeast Development Commission, SEDC, right? But let me tell you, if at all, which I know that the Zoo government controlled by the Fulani does not, pay attention to these idiots. But let's assume something that can never happen. That somehow the federal government of the Zoo pay this kind of money to this very SEDC. I want to tell you, it's going to bring another, the original civil war. Now, not in the Zoo, but within the Igbo nation, in the Zoological Republic. First, they mentioned here, I want you to, outline this. Look at here. The restoration of properties abandoned. Abandoned. Remember that word, abandoned property. So let us, bring it to this, abandoned, which means abandoned property that took place in Igbocha. So, can you point out any family today that can provide evidence of the property that they abandoned in Igbocha? If you want to say it categorically, you want to make a genuine case, I will stand here and tell you that all Igbo families had one thing or the other that they either abandoned or lost during the 3-year civil war. All, I said all Igbo families, all, but not all. But these ones that call themselves or claim to be Igbo leaders, they will come out and tell you, I abandoned there, or I lost 3 dekin in Igbocha. This one says, I lost 4 dekin in Lagos. I lost 100 dekin in Kaduna. I lost this, I lost that. I lost my landed property. I lost this and that. And now they will calculate the money in this recent economy. So who will spend that money? Forget about this word. They just, use this one to camouflage. They just camouflage with this word, SEDC, the Southeast Development Commission. They just use this one to sugarcoat everything. There's nothing like this. So who will collect the money? I am asking a simple question. Who will collect the money? Ohaneze have said their own, they have claimed their own, and now this Igbo Development Forum has come out to lay their own claim. So who will collect the money? Which is going to cause another eternal war within the Igbo nation in the Zoological Republic. I don't know what happened to us. Our people have become so low and poor in mentality, poor in thinking. I don't know where we got it wrong. Is there any time at all that we are going to come out of this mess? If they continue to hold us under the Zoo, is there any time at all that the Igbo nation will come out of this mess? Mental slavery and the form for Juaba. That word as Onyagala Nwanneya has disappeared in our midst. They just added Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you check from beginning, the main problem here is that 100 trillion naira. So the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes, later. Nobody's even talking about that. Mad people everywhere. Now let's read. A further call for a national consensus to ensure that the next president of Nigeria emerges from the Igbo ethnic group as part of the reparations for the long-standing marginalization. You see? So this is the second demand. This is the second demand. So therefore, their headline, which includes Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is just the list. Just the list. So anyway, oh my goodness, Ndi Igbo. Chai! Alumel. Ngwalezienu na nwere onwe anyị na-achọ. Ebe ya no we malụ na Ndi Igbo efugo bụ na nwere onwe anyị na-achọ. Within our midst, from IPOB, you saw what the DOS did. You saw what the Zoo government and Southeast, politicians, especially the governors, used the DOS to divide the house that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu built strongly. The house was completely divided. It took us complete 3 years, 3 good years, from 2021 to 2024. It took us 3 years, 3 good years, to bring the house together under Mazi and Biafra Republic government in exile. Boom! Immediately Mazi Simon Ekpa was arrested in Finland. Look at what happened again. The Ndi Igbo, the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom government, used the Ndi Igbo to divide the house into 2 again. Look at what is happening now. And ono say na anyị na-achọ nwere onwe. Ono say na anyị na-achọ nwere onwe. Echi epotasi Ijaw people are not supporting, Calabar people are not supporting, the Delta na support. While go on Onwegi, what are you doing? How are you expecting the Ijaw people to look into what is happening since the kidnap and rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? You expect them to support. If you want to tell the truth, you will tell the truth that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was even here in 2017, after his release from Abuja, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was touring all parts of Biafra, including in Igbo land. Look at how people were cheering him up. Even when he was renditioned, when that Monday sit at home was announced, the first Monday sit at home on the 9th of August 2021 was observed all over Biafra nation, including in Igbo land. We all witnessed it. If you want to say the truth, you say it. Including in Igbo, where you call Port Harcourt today, it was observed all over Biafra land. But the moment the house was divided, you don't even need to tell anybody that is not an Igbo man never to support Biafra again, because these people are not serious. Ndi Igbo, now they said the group also attached. Now they want to talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So they attached Mazi Nnamdi Kanu called the Kwaka. For ndị ka anyị, people like us na-ekwu nwere onwe, at least I go over the news, okay, at least they included Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Shame, because they saw how we lashed on Ohaneze Ndi Oshin that demanded some amount of money just a couple of months ago without even talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which is just like a child that the same so-called Igbo coup gave birth to. This Biafra agitation today, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnap and his subsequent, rendition and his, release, is a child that was given birth by this same Igbo coup. Are you even talking about Mazi Simon Ekpa? That one is the general, is the enemy of all Igbo criminals. Now, the group also demanded the immediate release of the 10th leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, stressing that his continued detention, especially in comparison to the pardon and integration of other individuals involved in violence is unjust. Awuzie appreciated Babangida for finally acknowledging that the January 1966 coup was not an Igbo conspiracy. He noted that the previous attempts to get other leaders, including former head of state General Yakubu Gowon, to clarify this fact had yielded no results. Babangida's admission, according to ADF, helps to dispel the malicious lies that fueled anti-Igbo sentiment and contributed to the atrocities during and after the Civil War. I don't care anymore. Did you hear me? I said, I don't care anymore. Ndi Igbo, ifele megbu unu. I'm not going to analyze it further. Thank you, my people. I'm telling you. Chineke Chukwu Okike abịa ma buko. Ọ bụ na ọ bụ ọnụ ka ị bụrụ anyị biko gbaalụzie bụsasị anyị ọnụ a. Ọ bụrụ njọ nna nna anyị fa metalụ biko gbaalizie. Anyị nwa bụ ụmụ gị atagbugo onwe anyị n'afụfụ. Nwere ụzọ esi kpochapụrụ anyị ndị a na-eme mpụ na arụrụ anyị kpọrọ onwe Igbo leaders. Or is there any way? Ekpere Chukwu is it